Cain. The first birth outside Eden. In the previous chapter we saw how sin broke the communion between humanity and its creator. The Lord expelled the human being from the Garden of Eden and placed cherubim and a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life. From that moment, humanity began to live outside the garden where the presence of God had been manifested. Scripture declares in Genesis chapter 4, verse 1, Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. The Hebrew text uses the word yada, a term that expresses deep knowledge and complete union. It does not describe merely a biological act, but an intimate relationship within the covenant of marriage. From this union comes the first child recorded in human history. Life begins to multiply in a world already marked by the fall. Eve calls her son Cain, a name that comes from the Hebrew root qanah, meaning to acquire or obtain. That is why she declares, I have acquired a man from the Lord. Even after the expulsion from Eden, life continues to spring forth because God remains the source of all existence. In these words, there is also a deep hope. After the promise announced in the garden about a descendant who would overcome evil, the birth of this child is perceived as a sign that God is still acting in human history. Thus, humanity begins outside Eden with a birth full of expectation. Yet this same chapter will show that the sin which entered the human heart will also begin to manifest itself in history. Life appears, but the conflict of sin still remains. Scripture makes a clear truth known from the beginning. Although humanity was expelled from the garden, God did not abandon history. Humanity walks outside Eden, yet the purpose of God continues advancing, guiding the course of redemption toward its final fulfillment. The echo of the voice of God.